Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Mona Aburmishan. I'm super excited to be here with you today. Before I speak, I'd like to actually read the Fatiha, if you don't mind. So, thank you so much. I'd also like to create the container so that this is a beautiful, safe communication in all time and space, in all dimensions, and all forms. We invite in our divine team and spirit. Thank you, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Raphael, for protecting this conversation in all ways. Thank you all for allowing me to deliver this beautiful message from the bottom of my heart. My name is Mona Aburmishan. I am so here with you today. You know, Thada and Asia are very special to me. Africa is very special to me. The Southern people are deep in my heart and have been for many, many years. As you may know or may not know, I am a retired stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. I did perform in South Africa, and I enjoyed it tremendously. It was a space where I felt fully at home. I felt heard, I felt understood, I felt acknowledged. So this conversation today means everything to me. I am someone who really would like to see the world a little different. So what I've decided to do is I've left the United States and I've moved to Palestine. And I wanted to contribute what I could to help the Palestinian people and just help people in general. Today's theme for our conversation is to find joy in what you have. And what I have is language. What I have is the ability to find humor in some of the most difficult situations. What I have is a pretty cool gift, helping people clear demotion after. Having been a retired stand-up comedian, I also delved into, in 2020, more energy healing. And I became an emotion code practitioner. And I love doing sessions. I absolutely love doing sessions, helping people release trapped emotions. So if I could, before we get going, if we could actually close our eyes as a group and go into our hearts and surrender any and all fear that we may have in our body to Allah. Just take a deep breath and release it. Surrender it. Thank you. We can talk more about emotion code and the gift that we all have about surrendering some of the painful trapped emotions in our bodies to the Creator and feeling lighter in our body, lighter in our life, and lighter in our thoughts and decisions. But right now, I'd like to actually talk to you about some really exciting things that are going on here in Palestine through some of the work and the connections that I've made here. First, I really wanted to make kids laugh. So I came to Ramallah and I helped the Friends School, Ramallah Friends School, work on some comedy programs. And then I graduated and just discovered a beautiful relationship with Quds University, which is Jerusalem University in Abu Dis. And I began teaching there. I began teaching English, and I began to teach entrepreneurship, which are two very interesting things to teach in the middle of a really severe annihilation of our people. To give young students in school hope and inspiration to create projects that might lead to businesses, that might lead to money, that might lead to being able to serve family. A pretty interesting task. Also, teaching English is something that I love. I like to teach English, not in the conventional British sense. You know, I am Palestinian, but my mother is American British. So I have a very interesting combination of DNA here. If anyone knows, it's kind of the British that starts some of this stuff. So I like to teach English as a native speaker. I'm finding that Palestine, as a former British colony, like South Africa, in many ways, has a unique relationship to English and how it's spoken. So I'm excited to help students discover what English is for them. How can they express what they need to express in English? Arabic is a very beautiful language, and inshallah, one day everyone on this planet will actually learn it and speak it. It flows differently than English. English has a more of a linear flow, whereas Arabic is like music. It's quite beautiful. Meanwhile, this after Ramadan, a young man in a refugee camp, Nablus, contacted me and was looking for some projects for his students that were in a community center in Balata Refugee Camp in Nablus. He found that because of Corona and because of the destruction of Gaza, a lot of international organizations and NGOs have stopped coming and stopped supporting the community center that has been going on for quite some time. His name is Ibrahim Jamal. He is a young kid who grew up in the refugee camp and grew up in the community center named Yafa Cultural Center. And so he began the programming and activities. Yeah, he's the activities and programming director. So he reached out to me and wanted to know if I could come and put something together. So we went over there. My partner Karam, we went over it during Nekba, which is the anniversary of the beginning of the occupation. And we fell in love with the students. We fell in love with the young kids, the young teens, and found that playing with the microphone, teaching comedy was a fun outlet for the kids. Meanwhile, we also learned that a lot of our personal wellness practices, such as breathing techniques and yoga and even emotion code practices, were really welcomed in the camp. So we went back after Nekba and we thought and practiced and came together with a really beautiful program that I'd like to introduce to you today. So before I get started, I'm going to switch into my Zoom account and then we'll share the screen. I wanted to thank you all so much for all that you do. South Africa has a beautiful legacy, and it's a legacy that's always inspired me because Nelson Mandela said that we're not free until Palestine is free. And I feel like it's coming. I really do. I really do. Through teaching comedy, I've discovered a very unique relationship to fear. Humans have ways of processing fear. Fight, flight. We all know fight or flight, right? There's faint, freeze, fawn. These are some really powerful ways that human beings handle fear. But when it comes to stand-up comedy, when you're on the stage and you're holding a microphone, like I love to teach young students, and I have been since 2011. And I've run workshops actually in South Africa, in Mitchell's Plain, and even in Herzliya, one of the #1 Jewish academies in the entire continent of Africa. I find that when a student is on the microphone, they don't have a choice. They can't fight, they can't flight, otherwise they haven't accomplished the goal. But when a student can actually create funny from something that they fear, they actually flow with that funny, and they get the audience to laugh. They find a sense of freedom from whatever they're scared of. One of my things was soldiers and the checkpoints that used to scare me as a young person, even as an adult. But when I started realizing that a lot of the soldiers at the checkpoints were teenagers and they were on their phones, they weren't as scary as they were in the 90s when I started coming here to the Holy Land. I started laughing, and my body had just released a great deal of fear. And then I had freedom in my heart. I had freedom in my mind around the subject. And then when freedom comes, then faith is much more obvious. So I like to share my screen and share my presentation. At the beginning of the presentation, we're going to have a QR code. So for those of you that have your phone, if you'd like to follow along as I present, it would be a lot of fun. I'm not going to read all the small details within the presentation because the presentation is also turned into a website, because our brother Ibrahim right now has just arrived in Switzerland, and he's going to be doing a tour of this project throughout Europe, hopefully garnering some support. And we would like to have you follow along and read the details when you get a chance. So here we go. Listen now. So here we go. Thank you all for your time. Hope you're doing wonderful. Hope you had a great day today. All right, so here's the QR code. So if you would take a minute and scan the code so you can connect to the presentation directly on your phone, and you can have all the intimate details that are available here on this presentation / website. I'm really excited about it. And I also think for all of you that are attending this event today, that there are opportunities available to you and your relationship to Palestine that are unique and not necessarily always presented in the media. I also am excited to talk to you. I feel like I'm hearing so much about how the world is reacting to what's going on over here, yet they're not actually talking to us directly. So that's why I'm so excited to speak with you today and share anything that I've got, because it feels like a lot of people are talking about Palestine, but they're not actually talking to Palestine. During this time, I've had less phone calls from my family and friends that I could ever imagine. So I wanted to be able to create this kind of connection with you. And I'm so grateful to Thakira and the team who has created this opportunity. So here we go. So this is Yafa Cultural Center, Balata Refugee Camp, Nablus, Palestine. So the project is called Summer Camp and More at Yafa Cultural Center. The idea is, by bringing a fun summer camp environment to a cultural center in a refugee camp, that is not just a one-off thing, that is a program that evolves. So in 2024, we are intended on creating the pilot project, which would then roll out in 2025. However, throughout the year, the intention is to actually have after-school activities for the students that are similar to what was received in camp, summer camp. And so here is the dates here, 2024 to 2027. And most importantly, above all, it's really Allah that's doing all of it. And what Allah says shall be, shall be. So inshallah, this is something that can honor the Creator. Also, this background image is very similar to Balata, where there is mountain ranges and a valley in between. That's where Balata sits. Welcome to Balata. Started in 1950. This is Balata as its beginnings, where you can actually see the tents in the background. Very intense, and also I feel that there's some parts of South African history that this looks very similar to. about the Balata Refugee Camp. Balata Refugee Camp, located near Nablus in the West Bank, is one of Palestine's oldest and largest camps, established in 1950 by UNRWA. So the other part of this is that in this area, which is not necessarily mentioned, is that the tomb of Yusuf, Sayyidina Yusuf, Prophet Yusuf, is there, as well as the Jacob's Well Church. So there's a lot of spiritual and religious significance in this area, right across the street from the camp. The camp right now is suffering from overcrowding, poverty, unemployment. As you know, most refugee camps are not the greatest place to be. There's also a great deal of violence and shooting. It's a hot spot, greatly. And this is what it looks like now. It's very narrow sidewalks, and it's very intense. About the Yafacentral Center. So the Yafacentral Center.
مرحبا للجميع. احنا هنا امام مركز يافا.
So if those of you that are following along, and obviously I'll leave the link in the website, when you go into this presentation, you're going to be able to listen to a video done by Ibrahim, where he takes you on a tour on the inside of the building. And I put that right there. So I hope you enjoy that part.
ثقافي.
Okay.
هذا هو مدخل يافا، مركز يافا الثقافي.
There you go. I'm just going to skip through it so that you can take your time going through the video. It's really lovely. The community center is wonderful. Oh. So a little bit more about Yafa Cultural Center is established for Palestinian identity and heritage. The center offers a wide range of educational, cultural, and recreational programs for all ages. It provides resources and opportunities for personal growth, artistic expression, and social engagement. It's really such a lovely center. It's really fun. These are some of the kids here. As a young girl singing, this is a presentation that we did here. I think if you'd like, take your time and enjoy that one as well. There's some video there, footage. Just gonna speed through. I don't want to take too much of your time today. I'm super grateful for this opportunity. So is she. So let's just keep moving forward. That's the theme and the refugee camp. You just got to wake up the next day. The mission of YCC work is to improve the cultural and intellectual condition of Palestinians by providing them with a space to develop their talents and skills and to enrich their awareness of their national rights through civic education, particularly in democracy and human rights. And as you go through, there is a couple more missions and visions that are done by the Yafa Cultural Center, which is really absolutely lovely. I'm super honored to be a part of it. Our brother Jamal, Ibrahim Jamal, he is a young boy who grew up there. Now he's an older guy who's actually helping working on the project. There he is right here on the left. And that's my husband and partner in crime, Karam. There's a little bit more about Jamal. Take your time and read it. You know, some of the stuff that's in this presentation is quite lovely. So thank you so much. So one of the things that was super key for Ibrahim was that he noticed that the kids really needed a new kind of support. He noticed that their attention span was low, that they just needed something. And during the summer, if they don't have something to do, there is a lot more violence going on. So we really wanted to create a camp that would keep the kids off the streets. And the best place to do that would be in the community center and offering some comedy. My experience in stand-up comedy, especially in the city of Chicago, is that the microphone is actually quite powerful, a lot more powerful than the gun. And the kids are growing up with a lot of gun violence in the camp. So I wanted to give them an alternative opportunity to express themselves and really be heard than using a weapon, but instead using a microphone, which is extremely powerful, because when you use a microphone, you're changing the community's mind.
One of the problems that's going on here in Palestine is that they are suffering a decreased attention span, which leads to a great deal of the class devoted to classroom management. So those of you who are teachers or know what it's like to deal with young kids, we're spending a lot of time, sit down, be quiet. I mean, not necessarily sit down, be quiet. However, that it's more like that they're constantly distracting each other with noise. And I think that there's a deeper concern going on here with the children development, that they are having a lot more of their education spent on being managed in ways that teachers aren't liking and students aren't actually liking. So what's the solution? When teachers and students learn some of the skills, concept, and perspective that comes with stand-up comedy and all the services we'll be providing in the camp, students can improve in their performance regularly in the new academic school year, hopefully increasing their grades. So that's the other part of this project that we're excited to explore. So the kids need a summer camp. That's what he said. And I think that he's right. So here's one of our pilot workshops. In March, while working with the Yafacenter Center, Ibrahim Jamal envisioned an innovative summer camp to address the needs of the Balata Refugee Camp, understanding the dangers that idle summers can pose. So we decided, let's do something for the community. And the age range is from 5 to 17, so that more groups are involved. And then we're going to be doing also media production, wellness, laughter, offering a safe, enriching environment. Let's give them a summer camp. They have an amazing theater. This is the sign above their theater. It's fantastic. And we just did a nice little pilot. Right now, we're still working on it. The project overview is the Yaffa Cultural Center Summer Camp and More project provides a holistic experience for children and future teachers by integrating comedy, breath work, storytelling, fitness, dance, yoga, meditation, and media production, culminating in a live event that showcases their talent, teaches financial literacy through ticket sales and event management, as well as teacher training. The intention is for these young kids to also put on their own camp and offer some of the services that we offer them to others, and that we can create a certification program so that these students feel like they have opportunities beyond just the academic, scholastic route, but they can maybe become a yoga teacher or a dance instructor or open up a fitness center. A lot of those are happening here still in Palestine. There's a lot more possibility going on, even in the midst of what's going on in Gaza, as well as the West Bank. You know, there are a lot of things going on here. However, in our project, we're doing the best we can to create a safe container and really revitalize the imagination. And if you have actually following along on your phone and you want to click this information sheet right here, click sheet for more. There's more of a breakdown exactly of the idea and the concept, as well as the intention behind it. So go ahead and click it for more. I want to get through this so that I'm not taking up so much of your time. The most important part, though, of this camp is the 4 pillars of our focus, which is goal number 1, physical wellness, empower the children through creative and physical activities, promoting a healthy lifestyle and improving physical fitness. Also wellness through self-expression and storytelling. Number 2, skill development through direct entertainment production. The children will learn project management skills, as well as a variety of modalities of artistic self-expression that can be valued in their community. Financial literacy, teach financial literacy and event production through the final performance, also innovative education model initiated by the children for the children. So yes, the hope is that these kids will learn financial literacy by preparing for a show that will have ticket sales. Teacher training, the entire program designed to support any child interested in doing what we do. All students will receive a certification of completion and acknowledgement of their investment and learning, as well as a booklet to help them understand what they learned and how they can teach what they learn to others. Here's your average schedule, 9 a.m. to 10:30 on Sunday through Thursday, and then 11 to 12:30 stage time. So this is not a sleepover camp. This is just a day camp. And each day we have scheduled different modalities of learning. And we're finding that when we involve fitness or breath work with journaling, for example, or storytelling, or any of the activities, the children are able to focus more. And then throughout the year, inshallah, we'll be able to offer some of these activities 1 day a week to continue the program until the 2025 school year. And throughout the 2025 school year, students love learning, obviously. Hold on, I went ahead a little bit. And one of the things that we're including is the activities that students are loving to exercise, that's really helping them. The other thing that they are finding is that when we're doing group exercises, journaling exercises, they're enjoying that as well. And some really special things are happening when the young girls are feeling safe with me to communicate what's going on, what they need to talk about, where they weren't doing that with any of the other international organizations coming through and offering summer camp opportunities. The children who have experienced powerful breath work and physical wellness are more able to pay attention for an extended period of time versus those who haven't. The Balata pilot project revealed that the intimate connection to movement and self-expression, students were able to tell their stories once their body was in alignment with their breath of life. And it's really been a lot of fun. Here's our strategy. If you can, take a minute and look at that. So we have the pilot program and then the after school program throughout 2024 into 2025, preparing for the 2025 summer camp, while we're also doing research and development throughout the camp, throughout the year. When 2025 launches, registration is in May. So basically doing some activities to get some attention for the summer camp. And then, in 2020, after the event in 2025, we'll do another after school program, prepare for the 2026 by doing workshops throughout the 2025-2026 school year, and then on until 2027. That's a lot of 2020s. It's fun. I think it's been a lot of fun. I'm super kind of excited about it. Also, I've done a research project at the University of Chicago Medical School. One of my students was he was in my comedy class, actually, and he was the head of the University of Chicago Medical School, and he was a teacher. And he wanted to take this program that I talked to him about, and the program that also went to South Africa. And so what we did is we conducted a research project with the University of Chicago Medical School, and we published a report in the medical journal. So you can go ahead and click here for the full article, which is stand-up comedy principles and the personal monologue to explore the interpersonal biases, experiential learning in a healthcare disparities course. So the whole point is how do you stand up comedy to explore ways of healing, alleviating, and transmuting health disparities, income disparities, and potential racism going on within the healthcare field. About the team. So take your time if you can. Here's my amazing husband with some of the kids, and we're just talking and having some fun, playing some music. Also in the link for all of you, if you want to click on each one of our faces, there is our resume and our bios are there for you to have access to. A little bit about us. Here's about my husband. He's extensive experience in trauma and PTSD and coaching. A life without laughter. A day without laughter is a day wasted, which came from Charlie Chaplin. So laughter is super key for help healing. Both of us are passionate about helping people really get whatever they need to say and feel more connected to their own voice, their own body, and their own ability to find joy in their everyday life. If you'd like, you can check out some of my videos on YouTube. They're so much fun, these kids. So much fun. So let's talk about the money, huh? So one of the things that's super important here is the theory, which is that language is a powerful form of self-expression, and when used wisely, can quickly shape someone's reality. The children at the Balata Refugee Camp will grow in language and therefore grow in life. This particular project is going to be bilingual all the time, English and Arabic, so that the young kids can feel comfortable speaking English while they're also learning Arabic. Movement and physical fitness helps children and adults process intense emotions and energies. The kids in Balata Refugee Camp experience intense sounds and environmental stresses that are that fit when we do fitness. It actually really does help create and release some of the stress that the body has been absorbing from the environmental stresses. And then thirdly, the event that is the requirement for this camp is that they produce an event at the end, which is pretty complex. And these children will have a unique skill set in project management, as well as learning how to manage a budget, and then hopefully learning how to make some money through ticket sales for their event. The other thing is that this particular project, when packaged and approached, when packaged and brought to a new community or a new community center, can actually become an annuity, which means that they can have a new source of revenue, and ideally a self-sustaining source of revenue, especially if they choose to take some of their project and put it online and get social funding or community support. They now have a new idea that can generate money. And I really like that. I like being able to contribute to someone and being able to give them access to a whole new idea that can also generate cash flow. Here's my experience having run some of these workshops. If you like, you can click on the video where in 2019, where we ran a workshop in the city of Chicago as well as in South Africa. I think maybe you'd like to see Mitchell's Plain and Khayelitsha. And we didn't actually get the video of the Herzliya experience, but that was really amazing. Here is when we were in Mitchell's Plain. The kids were awesome in Mitchell's Plain. The other part is that this is intended to be essentially a free project for the children. The children can pay their 150 shekels, which is, the denomination here, or if this camp is held in South Africa, 150 rand. You pay the 150 rand, you run the event, you run the classes, you run the workshop, and then you have the event at the end, and the kids have to sell tickets, kind of like in, any other project or any other kind of show. You sell tickets, and when the kids sell the tickets, they can make the money back that they spent on their education, thereby making their education essentially free. That's the intention. Yeah, here we go, in and out, pricing table. So what's next, right? We have these kids that have these amazing, super awesome, fantastic possibilities. What does their future look like? Well, many of them are going to want to apply for university, and that's the other part. So we meaning myself, my husband, and Ibrahim, a lot of relationship with different universities throughout the country. One of them in particular, since I teach at Quds University, is supporting them and offering and getting them excited about applying for school. And then I work in the dual studies program, and one of my responsibilities in the dual studies program is to connect students with internships. And that's one of the opportunities as well here in this conversation today is, how can we create relationships with those of you that are in South Africa looking for interns, and those of us in Palestine that have amazing skill sets and are really interested in some work study opportunities. So a lot of the students, whether in Balata or anywhere through Palestine, if they're interested in coming into Quds University and having an opportunity to maybe learn learn through dual studies and actually be part of the dual studies program, they can learn theoretical knowledge and practical skills by doing part of their studies is actually on campus, and then part of their studies is in the businesses and doing their internship, which gives a much more balanced approach. Having gone to university, I feel like that is such a brilliant approach to your education, because then you have one foot in the working world and one foot in the academic world. So again, if you're interested, there's a partnership with Yaffa Cultural Center. Let us know. You can go ahead and click up here if you want to contact me if you're interested. The focus of the students that are in the dual studies program is electrical engineering, information technology, business administration, industrial engineering, and digital management. So these are their fields. If you and your business have any of these fields of interest, that would be great. Also, even if that's not necessarily the focus, they could probably still learn a lot or utilize the skills that they've learned in university to help you and your business maybe elevate into a new realm that wasn't possible before. All right, so what happens after apartheid here? Laughter is the shortest distance between two people. A lot of the kids were a little intimidated getting to know me. When they realized that I was one of them, they opened up. So we invite you to join us for an engaging presentation on Balata Refugee Camp pilot project. Discover how this innovative program integrates education, financial literacy, creative arts to empower children and future educators. Your support can make a significant impact, whether through donations, resources, or social capital. You can help transform lives and create lasting change. Be a part of it. Be a part of something really fun, because I feel like if we can do something like this, we do have a chance at a post-apartheid development, a post-apartheid life, a life where we can enjoy some of the freedoms that you in South Africa have enjoyed. For those of you that were alive through the transition, it was significant. I did connect with South Africa. I lived in Namibia in 1996, 2006 and 2007. So I understand that it's very sensitive in the transition. And I feel like we are ready, and some of the projects that we can do, especially with health and wellness, can help children down the road really connect with their body, their anger, their fear, all of the emotions that have maybe come through so much trauma, having modalities of processing that trauma so that they can be part of an innovative society where trauma and fear are not being recalculated and regenerated over and over again, so they can break the cycle of pain. And now it's about you. How would you like to participate? Would you like to come visit us? You can make a difference. So your prayers always help. Oh, hold on. Your prayers help, which is amazing. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We love your prayers are massive. So thank you so much. There is Zelle. We have PayPal. Obviously, right now, somehow the QR code is not showing, but I think it might be showing on your device. And if not, then I can follow up with more information. The other is your social capital, your relationships. Anyone that you might know over here, or someone who can send us, maybe 20 yoga mats. We would love that. Sponsorships are great. Donations are fantastic. And we would like major sponsors, especially, to meet our golden standard of that the contributors must be in alignment with the mission and the vision of the project and community, because it does involve children, especially in the United States. You never know where that million is coming from. And I ask Allah freely for some clean cash to be able to support these children. You can also send money through MoneyGram. And we did create a GoFundMe page, and if you want, you can contribute there as well. We're asking for just a little bit of money, about $4,000, just to get things going for this pilot program, and then see what else we can create. And I just want to see how much we can help this project get off the ground and get some support. It's a great project. I really love it. Also, you can contact us directly. Jamal is fluent in Arabic and he speaks a little bit in English. Karam is multilingual and I'm pretty multilingual as well. So feel free to send us a text message if you'd like to talk more about the project, if you'd like to talk about how you want to sponsor or be involved, or if you'd like to talk about how you'd like to connect with maybe an Al Quds Abu Dis dual studies student and maybe see if there's internship possibilities, or if you'd like any emotion code or energy healing for yourself or for your community, we are there. You can contact us directly. And thank you so much for everything. We really appreciate you. We appreciate the time that you've taken. Thank you so much, Thekera, for letting me present today. And we all just said, thank you so much. This is live from today. We took these pictures. And in the end of the day, whatever Allah wants will be. Thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate you. I'm having a little bit of camera issues, so I'm going to have to stay off camera. I hope you all have a blessed, blessed week. I send a lot of love from Palestine and from the Holy Land, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. South Africa, I've always loved you. I've been in love with you since I was a kid. You were my light. You were the lighthouse. You were the guide that gave me hope that one day the occupation of my family and my friends and my community would be over. I love you all very much. All the best. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. I like to close the container. I pull back my energy. My name is Mona, 32879, and we fill all that space with love. Thank you, Ola, for this opportunity. Thank you, angels. Goodbye.